Right, this is Tzion. Tzion is an American Israeli. His family made Aliyah when he was 8. He's a wee bit more than 8 now. And he married a woman a number of years ago, had 3 children, and raised them in the States. And as he will tell you, his then wife decided that drugs were more important than her children, so she relinquished all custody, gave it full custody to you, and you raised them for all those years with no interference from anybody in the States, no welfare, no nothing. So I think I've got that right, yeah? You then decided, why not come to Israel and get some roots again and a bit of Hebrew for the kids and blah blah blah, and you arrived in August 2014. Oh my goodness me, Tzion. Well, you got your roots. What happened to your children? Where are your children right now?
Well, right now, I have 3. My eldest lives with me right now. He's visiting the States, but the 2 children right now, 13 and 12, are in institutions of the social services of the state of Israel.
Your American-born children.
These are American-born children as well. Yeah.
And they were taken on a false claim. A woman you know.
Yeah. When I came back to Israel after 10 years of absence. I had left with 1 child. I came back with 3 by myself. I landed the 15th of August 2014, and
9 months later?
9 months later, my children were taken away by social services after a lady friend that I came in contact with, who I had known 30 years before.
You basically rejected her advances, yeah?
Basically, it started off as a friendship, and she took a like to my children, she liked me, and she wanted a relationship that I couldn't give her, that I wasn't interested in, and at the time I was still married. And in fact, interesting enough, she was religious. I am not religious.
So the long and short of it, from the start of that, she made a false claim.
She basically went to the social services and said that I mistreat my children, that I starve them, and I keep them locked inside, even though they were going to school and they were taken from their school. Said that I didn't have books, and I was...
a whole load of nonsense.
I'll never know exactly what she said, because they don't show me. It's all
no, they never went to your house.
Never.
They never checked your house. They never checked how the children were being raised. They literally came to school.
Came to the kids' school and took them
away.
And took them to the furthest part of Israel. And that's when the little pogrom started against me. Last year and a half, I have barely seen them. I just a few months ago, when one of my children was finally moved out of Schusterman institution, which is in
Lynn Schusterman's institution,
yes,
we'll just make that clear.
Finally, I had visitations with him, 45 minutes once a week under supervision. He's trying to come home. He's asking to come home, and they tell him, but your father is a bad guy, so you can't come home.
I've seen a telephone transcription from your boy where he's saying that he's literally heard social workers planning to put you in prison. They're making plans to lie, and they're trying to put things into his head that he knows aren't true. And he's told you, Dad, I want to leave, I want to get away, and that you need to get away. And he's listening to it all. He's 13. What does it make you feel like when you hear your boy's in prison here, and he's listening to them trying to plot the end of you?
Well, it's a totally helpless feeling. I'm supposed to be the big strong dad that is supposed to be able to protect and save my children. In essence, my hands are tied. If I so much as look crooked at a social worker or do anything out of order, I can't raise my hands, I can't raise my voice. I do everything that I can legally, but my children are taught and told that I'm not fighting for them, that I don't want them to come home. That's what they do with my daughter. My son is beginning to wake up, and he realizes this is not true, and when he asks to come home, they tell him, you can't, but your father did this and that. He says, but that's not true, and you guys are lying, and I want to tell the judge that you're lying. And then he hears them plot.
A Jewish boy denied a bar mitzvah as a punishment, either inside the institution or outside with you. This is a Jewish country. You brought him home for Jewish roots. His bar mitzvah's got to be the most critical time in his young life.
2 weeks ago, he became bar mitzvah, the age of mitzvot, And I went before a judge, and she said, no, it's too dangerous. He cannot come home. He cannot leave the institution. You may not make him any ceremony there or otherwise. And that's it. The answer was no. And no birthday either.
And no birthday.
In fact, even on the day of his date of his bar mitzvah, I asked if he could call, and I could wish him, a happy bar mitzvah, happy birthday. Instead, I got a text from the head of his institution saying, please don't call, you're threatening me and you're bothering me. That was to asking my child to call. So
now, I've been with you today, and we know, because we've had 3 or 4 phone calls, you are being so lied to. Your son was allegedly taken to hospital at 2 o'clock, then 3 o'clock, then 4 o'clock, then 4:30. Nothing. It's all lies. And they've lied to you. The hospital's lied, the institution's lied. I've been listening to it, and I'll write about it. What are you going to do? How are you going to rescue these children?
Well, I'm going to continue what I have been doing for the last year and a half since they were taken. I continue to go to every hearing. I continue to appeal. I'll do everything legally in my power to defend them, and I'll walk the thin line of whatever I need to do. I can't get myself in any kind of trouble. I can't attack these people verbally or physically, but I can try to research as much as possible what I can do legally throughout the world for these children.
What do you tell people in America now? You're sitting here, you've lived a lot in America. People love this country, and no one says you don't. But what are you going to tell these people out there about what's really going on in here?
Well, I would tell them the truth. If I could stand at every airport with signs not to get on the planes to come here, I would not suggest for anybody to come here, not for a visit, not to make aliyah. This is not the Jewish country that is spoken of. Everybody is being lied to. It reminds me of the story of Pinocchio going to La La Land, where everything is good and at the end everybody's just turning into a donkey. There is nothing here but death, destruction, and children being taken away. There are no human rights for Jewish Israelis in the land of Israel. There are none.
It's been funded by many of your compatriots for the benefit of children. Lots of the institutions have been funded to billions of dollars, the ones your kids are in actually, for abandoned children, beaten children. Jewish men are beating them all. How do we wake these people up to the fact that's not true?
Well, I personally, if I could, I would knock on every door of the people that donate to these Nazi Jewish institutions, and I would ask, and they should follow their money. They should know where their money is going to and what they're contributing to the continuation of a Jewish Holocaust in the land of Israel by the Jews. These people should not be giving money to institutions that do these things. There's a lack of human rights. Children are suffering. Parents are suffering. This money is being given to places which don't deserve it. They should not be funded.
You don't feel very well today, do you? I know that. I saw you the other day, and I know you're not feeling very well today. You're worried about the children. You're worried about your daughter. She's not been eating. I understand
that.
Been in
the hospital for the 6th time in the last year and a half.
And I understand she's in Etanim, which is a place I've been to, not personally. And I know how cruel that place is, and I know that they do enforce drugs and medication, whether you like it or not.
She's on 3 different medications. This is her 4th visit in Etanim. In fact, they are releasing her in a few days, sending her back to where she's physically and emotionally being abused. And the only reason why she was put in this time was because she has been running home every day to see Daddy.
So her punishment is to be locked in a mental institution and drugged?
And the father I cannot come within 5 kilometers of any place that she's at. Judge ordered.
There are no words for this, do you know that? I'm so shocked. Gonna make me cry. You actually could make me cry, because I've never ever seen or heard anything like what they're doing to you and your children for someone who came back and so loyal to the country. You'll be accused of being a self-hating Jew. What do you say?
No such thing in my book. I have always been loyal to my people, to my land, and to the world. Wherever I've gone, I've always been loyal and done my best. I'm definitely not the enemy of any state, at least not in my own right. I've done nothing, and I would not accept anybody telling me that I'm a self-hating Jew. I think that the state of Israel is accused, rightly so, of crimes against humanity, against religious rights, and therefore there's nothing self-hating. The truth has to be told. The truth is part of the Bible. Thou shalt not bear false witness. So therefore, if my testimony, and I am willing to do so in front of the whole world, if it will save one child, that is part of the Bible as well. So no self-hating here.
It is indeed, and there's over 500,000 shekel profit already made on your children at least.
Yes, ma'am.
500,000, which could have gone to you. Not that you needed it, by the way.
Right. The children were not taken away from me for...
Well, we don't know
It wasn't
why.
one of the things that I was accused of. But
We're gonna, you and I are going to be talking a lot more, and people are going to know a lot more about you. Okay, thanks.